What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another predicted lineup video. The Premier League kicks off tomorrow at home against Southampton. Very much looking forward to it. We did lose to Southampton last year at home, so it's time to get back to winning ways and get some revenge on Southampton that we didn't actually pick up a win on last season. The press conferences have been done, the team news is out, and let's get into it.
Yeah, so Conte has confirmed that Ollie Skip will be missing this weekend. Ali Gold confirming in midweek that he has suffered a hairline fracture on his toe, which we brought to you earlier in the week. So he's going to be missing out for a number of weeks now, which is a bit of a shame for him because we were looking forward to having Ollie Skip back for the new season. Richarlison serves his one-match ban, which he got for picking up and throwing a flare into the crowd in Everton's home game last season against Chelsea. So he'll be missing for the first weekend of the season, but will return for our away game against Chelsea next week, which is funny. And other than that, Yves Bissouma should be part of the matchday squad after recovering from a light injury he suffered in midweek, which forced him out of training for a couple of days on Wednesday and Thursday, but he should be back. And no other injuries of note, which is very positive. Perisic and Doherty are not fully fit, confirmed by Conte, but they are available for selection if need be.
Interesting stuff. So let's get into our first predicted lineup of the season. We're going for a 3-4-3 formation as per usual, and in goal is going to be obviously our captain Hugo Loris.
Yeah, no other choice to be made. Obviously Forster could be playing at his old club, but I don't think that's going to happen. So Loris signed a contract last season, and we're hoping for 2 more really good years out of Loris. Interesting to see what happens when we start looking for a new keeper, but look, Loris for me is still one of the best keepers in the league, right, even at 35, so obviously he starts.
So that's Hugo Loris in goal. Right wing back is an interesting one. As we said, Doherty isn't fully fit. Jed Spence, I'm not sure what's going on with him. We've heard apparently he could be starting the season in the under-23s, so that leaves Emerson Royale. So Emerson Royale for right wing back.
Yeah, it was interesting when Conte was going through our right-wing options. He said, Doherty was brilliant last season when he played, and he wants to get him back to those levels, but he's not quite there yet. He said Jed Spence is a fantastic prospect and investment by the club, but he still needs time to get up to speed with how Tottenham play. So but then he said, and Emerson, he's fit. So he didn't say like, oh, Emerson's brilliant. He just said, yeah, he's fit. But yeah, so it seems like that Emerson will be starting the season. I did think in pre-season was some good stuff, some classic Emerson stuff, but I think he ended the season really, really well. And hopefully if he continues that kind of vein of form, then I think nothing to worry about.
Yeah, absolutely. So Emerson will start at right wing back. Right centre back, you all know who's going there. That's going to be Toby Romero. And it's a big season for Romero, seeing as, he had a very stop-start season last year with injury. And I'm expecting a massive season from Romero this year.
Yeah, and hopefully by the end of the season, if not already, he's going to be considered one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League because he plays at such a high level. For sure, we're going to need him, especially when if Southampton ever having any periods where they're sitting back and trying to soak up pressure, we need our wide centre-backs to help out as much as possible. And we know Romero is not shy about that, so he needs to get involved. And also with his aggressive style, making sure that when Southampton come and press us and when they're aggressive, and he gives as good as he gets. So he's going to be very important in this game.
Absolutely. Alongside him in the centre of the centre-back three will be Eric Dier. Obviously had a very big season last year. Not too many mistakes to talk about, and it looks like he could be eradicating those out of his game, but I still think in the transfer market we need someone to come and give him some competition, but I'm very happy with Dier there for now.
Yeah, and I think he's playing really well, and I think he's not only is he playing well, but he's a leader in that dressing room and in that back three. Without him, the structure kind of falls apart a bit, and he's kind of the glue that fits everyone together, because not only is he the most vocal, but he also speaks multiple languages, so it helps out with all the everyone playing in that back line. Obviously, he's also starting to perform a lot better in terms of his passing and cutting out those lapses in concentration. So I'm very happy with Dier right now. And yeah, it definitely starts in that middle of the back three.
And to make up that back three on the left was an option of 3 different players. Sanchez, who's played there for the majority of pre-season. Longley, our brand new signing, who's bought for that role. But we are going to go for the return of Ben Davies.
Yeah, and Conte said that Davies was available for the last game against Roma, but he was fully fit, but because he just come back from injury, he didn't want to risk him with any minutes. But I don't think he should have any reservations, unless it's literally physical. He shouldn't have any reservations putting Davies in, because he knows how the system, he knows how Conte wants him to play. He was very consistent last season, so I got no qualms about putting Davies straight back in if he's available. And it's up to Longley or Sanchez to earn that place.
Absolutely. And to make up the back 5 at left wing back, as toss up between Perisic and Ryan Sessegnon. Perisic still nursing his way back from his injury at the back end of last season, so we've stuck with Ryan Sessegnon for this one.
Yeah, although Perisic did play, over an hour in Israel against Roma, and Conte did say, he played him from the start to try and get him up to speed as soon as possible, so I wouldn't be surprised if sooner rather than later Perisic is going to be in the starting 11. But we think Sessegnon's going to start the first game of the season because he said that Perisic is still lagging behind his being 100% fit, and there's no need to risk him when Sessegnon's playing well anyway. Although, people arguing pre-season wasn't so good, but back end of last season he was playing really well, getting assists and contributing. So I think a chance for him to carry on that momentum, and I think he has been playing well.
Absolutely. Let's run that back 5 with you one more time. Run through it. In goal, Hugo Loris. Right wing back, Emerson Royale. Left wing back Ryan Sessegnon, and then a back 3 of Romero, Dier and Davies. Very reminiscent of last year's team. Now let's look at the midfield, and the first player we are going to look at is Rodrigo Bentancur as well. Very reminiscent of, I think this whole team's going to be pretty much reminiscent of the back end of last season.
Not too many surprises we're seeing. Bentancur obviously having a solid pre-season yet again, and he's been fantastic in the middle. Basuma obviously just coming back from a little injury, and Skip being ruled out means there's only one option, and he definitely starts.
Well, yeah, you say there's only one option, but there's actually only 2 options, and that is PierreEmerick Aubameyang, who's going to slot in alongside him, and they should be very kind of used to each other's game by now.
Yeah, the one option I meant Højbjerg and Bentancur. But Højbjerg against his old club. I think he's Conte's most trusted midfielder. He's the one that he seems to always pick week in, week out, and hopefully he starts the season strong. I think he was one of our most consistent midfielders, probably our most consistent midfielder for the last 10 games or so last season. I don't think, still doesn't get the credit he deserves, so he definitely starts in this one.
Yeah, and now let's move on to the forward line after talking about Højbjerg and Bentancur in the midfield. And the right side of number 10, we're going to talk about Dejan Kulusevski.
Yeah, and had a very good pre-season performance against Rangers. Roma was a bit in and out of the game, but you could put that down to the heat. Obviously he's been absolutely phenomenal ever since signing for Tottenham, and he really brings the best out of Kane and Son as well. He allows just that other option. He really does he's like the glue in terms of setting them up and also getting on the end of things. He's very good at that. So he's going to have competition now. Richarlison signed, but because he's suspended, there's no option, and Kulusevski has to start, although obviously Lucas is there, but I don't see Lucas getting the nod here.
Even you're completely right. He does get the best out of Kane and Son, but it also makes us that much more so unpredictable as well, because we can attack them from all sides now.
Exactly.
So Kulusevski has been an absolute revelation since joining Spurs. Now I'm loving every second of him, and he seems to have fitted into the squad so well as well. So that's Kulusevski. On the left-hand side, the left number 10 is obviously going to be HeungMin Son, and obviously looking forward to seeing him back in action in the Premier League.
Yeah, he got 2 goals in pre-season against the K-League, and the other games he didn't quite find the back of the net. But hopefully, if he gets he gets going on the first game of the season, and then he can have as good a season he did last season, which he won the Golden Boot. Wonder what odds you'd get on him winning the Golden Boot in second consecutive season. But look, I've got no worries about Sonny. He's our best one of the best forwards in the league right now, and I'm looking forward to another good season for him.
Absolutely. So that's Son and Kulusevski, and they will be supporting the one and only Harry Kane. And I think it's going to be a massive season for Kane this year. Pre-season, he seemed like a man on a mission. The back end of last season, he seemed like a man on the mission. And I'm backing him to really hit the ground running in the league this year, right from the off.
Yeah, and I've backed in my prediction to get PFA Player of the Year. Hopefully he gets the ball rolling first game of the season. The way he's been playing last 6 months, he's the best player, probably best player in the Premier League, and might even be best player in Europe right now with the way he was playing, the way he was scoring goals like a seasoned Alan Shearer, the way he was assisting like Kevin De Bruyne. Just has it all. He's an unbelievable talent, and hopefully Conte can, if he gets a full season like he has the last 6 months, then, you know, who knows what we can achieve.
And if he does do that this season, can he be in that conversation for the Ballon d'Or?
Yeah, I think if he performs the last in this season for a whole season, the way he's been performing the last 6 months, and if Spurs can win or go far in a lot of competitions, you know, if we can get to a final of the Champions League or go close to the league, or if England, you know, have a good run in the World Cup, I think he should be considered for that. Look at Karim Benzema right now; he's on the verge of a Ballon d'Or after a phenomenal season, but he did win the league and Champions League with Real Madrid. So Kane is probably going to have to win something, but if he can play the whole season like he did last 6 months, I think he should be up there for sure.
Yeah, and you know, it's not even Tottenham. You know, even if England go deep into the World Cup final winners, he can be in the conversation there. But look, very, very exciting times ahead. Let's run through that lineup with you one more time. In goal is going to be Hugo Loris. Right wing back Emerson Royale, left wing back Ryan Sessegnon, a centre back trio of Romero, Dier and Davis. Højbjerg and Bentancur in the midfield, with Kulusevski and Son supporting Harry Kane. If that is the lineup, what's your predicted scoreline?
I'm going to go 3-0. I think it's going to be very similar, or exactly the same lineup as we ended last season. I think it's a good lineup. We won 10 of our last 14 games. It has good momentum, and everyone knows how each other plays, and everyone knows their role. I think Southampton might have a slow start to the season as well. So I'm confident going to this one. 3-0. I'm going for Kane to score 2 and Son 1.
All right, I'm going to go for 2-0 to Spurs. I mean, everyone's coming on and being super, super confident for this game. 3-0s, 4-0s, 4-1s. But I've gone slightly a bit more reserved. I think that people talking about the lineup saying, oh, blah, it's the same lineup as last season. I mean, I'm not worried about that too much. Like you said before, you know, we won many a game with this lineup. So I'm confident. I'm just not going overboard of the confidence. So I'm staying with 2-0, and I've got Harry Kane at the double. So that is our predicted scorelines. That is our predicted lineup. Let me know your predicted lineups in the comment section below. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.